If you had the intention to optimize your career, both in terms of using your skills and talents to achieve the best possible results, but also to provide the greatest good for yourself and others, and to achieve the recognition and rewards that goes along with that, what would you be doing right now, and how is that different from what you're already doing? I ask it this way because I think it's the same conversation as how to get promoted to senior levels. It can be. So if how to leverage your talent for the greatest good is something that speaks to you, by the end of this video, I'll leave you with a checklist of conditions that, if met, will provide you with the greatest opportunity to achieve that goal. For the best strategies on how to take your career to the next level, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you can be notified when I post a new video every Tuesday. I'm Christina dellisanti-Miller, and I spent more than 20 years in big corporates, in financial services, in aerospace, and in the shipping industry, mostly male-dominated. And I was responsible for diversity and inclusion, talent management processes, and executive development. So I've been using my inside scoop to help hundreds of women to take their career to the next level beyond what they thought was possible in many instances. Let's say there's a set of conditions that you can create that will give you the best chance to either be promoted to senior levels or take your career to the level that you want it. And I'm going to provide you with a checklist of those. In case you're not in the mood to take notes just now, you can grab it at fullpotentialrealized.com/promoted. I'll put a link in the description. Before we dive into those conditions, I'm curious about what you've found. So if you'd be willing to share in the comments below your best tip for getting promoted, taking your career to the next level, we could all benefit in this community. All right, so here we are. 10 conditions for preparing the playing field for you to have the best chance of being promoted to your full capacity. First one, you have given yourself permission to want to be a senior leader, to pursue that goal, and to cultivate the intention of having it happen. I say that because depending on how you were socialized, many of the messages that women are getting, that's not necessarily the track that is the stress-free or friction-free way to go. And so I think it's really a matter of saying, yep, this is something I choose and I'm going to own it. Second one, you have to feel like this is a viable option for you. So the sense of worthiness that I can make this happen, this kind of inner drive to say, I'm going to do what it takes. Third condition, which I talk about all the time, but I think it's so important, you've shifted into a growth mindset. So you're saying to yourself, I'm going to learn what it takes, and it's possible, and everything can be learned with practice and a strategic and practical approach. Fourth one, you're continuing to build your portfolio of experiences and capabilities. So you understand that the broader your experiences are, the better served you are. If you're building them at this point in your career, the better served you are up here. Because when you get up here, your bandwidth is limited because the roles demanding the complexity of the demands of the role require you to be fully plugged in what you're doing. And so having had these experiences and built the capabilities before will serve you well. So regardless if you don't know what exactly it's going to look like when you're up here, when you're in this phase of your career, you're still building a variety of experiences intentionally and layering them one on top of the other. Another condition for success is that you've gotten clear about the role and your associations with it and others' associations with it, and you've distinguished what are the realities of it and what are the made-up stories that don't serve you, and kind of bracketing those and just focusing on the possibilities. Number 6 is you know what the desired profile for the role is, and you can find a way to show up authentically as yourself in alignment with the profile. So I'll give you 2 examples. One, in finance, when we did the research to figure out what distinguishes successful interns and analysts from those who are less successful, we came up with 4 buckets. So everybody already comes with a great education, they're all talented, they're all really smart, they're all very driven. So what are the key distinguishers of success? Confidence, dedication, these all have subcategories under them, relationships, and ability to navigate gender norms. So for a junior person, being able to find authentically, again, how you align to those and demonstrate those is part of the puzzle. For senior women, what does the profile look like? Credibility, gravitas, being a go-to person that people seek your opinion and you're valued and trusted. They would trust you with the business, like that, right? So those are example both in financial services. What does the profile look like in your organization? How do you need to show up? Number 7 is you've carved out a permanent space in your agenda that you hold for career advancing activities. So you have your deliverables track and producing the results of your work, and you have the track that is some portion of your time that's always dedicated to building relationships, working the process, creating visibility, managing your image and your exposure. One of the things I heard in a recent interview, which I've heard before over and over, this idea of the tiara syndrome, the thing we see most with women expecting that their results will be rewarded without feeling like they have to manage the process, and it doesn't work out the same way as for those who are clear they have to deliver great results, unique contribution, but they also have to manage their promotion and their career advancement. 8th condition is that you've been building the right relationships all along, strategically but also authentically. So you're not showing up the year before you want to be promoted in people's offices like, hey, how about me? You're building relationships from the moment you get in the door with all kinds of people, including the people who are decision makers and key stakeholders in the leadership planning process. Some other things that I heard in this interview which relate to building your network. One is that men make broader networks. Generally, they start earlier, so they're building these relationships over time, so they're well established by the time they get to the point in time when they need them. Also, they introduce each other to people, so they come with a background. They say, like, what is the background on this person? What do we have in common? So they come prepared in the relationship, leveraging their existing relationships. The other thing that I thought was interesting, this idea that pertains to having a broad network. We always talk about why it's important to have a lot of people in the deciding committee to know who you are, because then it's more of a no-brainer that people know you and they trust you. The other thing, though, that was raised in this conversation, which I think relates to this, is the idea that some leadership teams, and probably most of them, don't like high-risk decisions. So the more people know you, the more people can be invested in the decision, the less it occurs to them like a high-risk decision, and the easier it is for them to promote your candidacy for future leadership or higher levels. Thinking about it from their point of view, kind of working backwards, being commercial about it. What does the client need and how do I deliver it to them? And plugging that into your career process, I think, is a valuable approach. 9th condition is you're honest with yourself about, can it happen in this organization? It may be that you totally have what it takes, but it's not going to happen here. And you need to decide if it's worth it to stay here or if going somewhere else will give you a clean slate. Sometimes too much water has been under the bridge. Some organizations are inclusive and some are not. So if you're in a place where it doesn't seem like it's possible and you've really made all the efforts and you've really explored it and you've examined it, maybe you make peace with it, but maybe the thing to do is to go somewhere where it's actually feasible and doable. 10th condition is the practical steps of navigating the process. So I have a whole video on this. It's the 8-step process for taking your career to the next level, and it deals with the practicalities of what are the right conversations you have to have with your manager, how do you deal with your stakeholders and assess where they are in the process, how do you understand how the process works and navigate it effectively, all that good stuff. So if you want to leverage the free training, it's at fullpotentialrealized.com/advance. Let me know what you think about it. Check out these next videos on taking your career to the next level. And if you liked this video, please give it a like, subscribe, comment, and share it with your friends. The more you help me get the word out, the more we can create balanced leadership teams at all levels. And I'm really curious about what questions you have. Please put them in the comments and let me know what you'd like to see me make videos about. Okay? Thanks. I look forward to seeing you next time.